If you're thinking about moving to Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, there are a lot of different places for you to choose from. So in today's video, we want to help you narrow that down a little bit so that you can figure out exactly which area of Santa Rosa Beach you might want to live in. Stay tuned. What is going on? I'm Andrew, and this is
AJ.
And we are realtors here on the Emerald Coast. We're servicing everything from Pensacola to Panama City Beach. So if that is an area that you want to learn a little bit more about, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell so that you'll be notified for every single video we do.
We want to thank our returning viewers, of course, our subscribers, and if you're new to the channel, thank you as well for stopping by. We absolutely appreciate all the views, and we love when you guys call us, text us, send us an email, or friend us on Facebook and send a message. We keep getting lots of those, especially Facebook. You guys really like that, and we're cool with it. We
love the love.
We love the love. And you get us any way you try to reach out. So whatever feels most convenient to you, go ahead and use that method, and we're ready to help you.
Santa Rosa Beach is a big area, so let's go ahead and start narrowing that down by giving you a few ideas of some of the communities located right here on 30A. Santa Rosa Beach is a big place, as I mentioned before, so as we're narrowing this down, we couldn't help but go right to our favorite part of Santa Rosa Beach, and that is 30A.
We've done lots of videos on 30A, so you can have so much information on it because we do love it. And even though, like you said, Santa Rosa Beach is huge, 30A is kind of a big area too, which is one of the reasons that we chose that area, because it's this whole urban development kind of area, lots of tourism, lots of locals, and you have very distinct communities. So regardless of what you're looking for, you're gonna find it, just the personality that you want with an area that has the most beautiful beaches and scenery and food and such. So we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the communities that we would recommend based on personality type and why 30A in general is our favorite.
When we're talking about 30A, there's one thing that every one of these communities share in common, and that is our beautiful white sandy beaches. So it's kind of what we're known for. It's the crown jewel of our entire area. We get this special white powdery sand from the Appalachian Mountains 200,000 years ago or something crazy. And then, of course, the beautiful clear waters. So every single community that we're going to be talking about today and the entire length of the communities on 30A are all right there on the water.
There are multiple beaches right there along 30A, multiple beach accesses. Some of them have more parking than others, and some of them are more kind of hidden and with the intent of fewer people being able to use them because you can't drive into them and then use them. So depending on what your personality is, like, do you want, a more kind of crowded feeling, you want to meet some people, or are you wanting something a little bit more secluded? That might kind of sway your decision on which community to move into. But regardless, you're going to have access to these incredible, incredible beaches. And that goes into our next favorite thing about 30A is that it's super dog friendly. So on these beaches, you're going to see like big old trash bags towards the entrances so that you can throw away, anything that you might need that maybe your dog might have tried to leave there at the beach that other people aren't going to appreciate. But what's awesome is that once you own property on 30A, you can apply for a
permit.
A permit. Thank you. A permit so that you can actually take Fido out onto the beach with you. And pretty much anywhere along 30A, there's so many restaurants that have outdoor seating, and they're totally fine with you bringing your dog, and they'll put out, water dishes. So you got the whole family there with you, which is the next thing we love about 30A.
Yep. All right, next up on our list, the reason why we chose 30A as the area for you is the architecture. So there's a ton of different communities, and each one has an entirely different style. And some of them, the entire community is that style without any breaks anywhere. So from the luxurious and prestigious Alice Beach, which is a more Bermudan style, to right next door in Rosemary Beach, where they've got more of a European colonial look, and they're literally right next door. So as soon as you pass from one community into another, the entire scenery changes. It's like your whole world changes, and that's like the coolest, at least one of my favorite things on 30A.
It definitely lends itself to making you want to be outside and having, the Tampucci Trail going along the entire thing so that you can just walk or bicycle or skateboard, however you want to travel and, be outside and just taking in the views. It's just one more motivating factor, because I know I get bored when I try to run. If it's like the same scenery the whole time, I'm like, I don't want to do this. But having like the different architecture back to back to back, pretty, plus, seeing the beach, of course, is amazing.
It kind of helps.
Yeah, it helps a little bit. So speaking of, the Tampuchi Trail and being able to see all the different sites, going off of that whole everything there, that's kind of like the theme of 30A, is this kind of massive urban development, if you will. All these like micro communities right there along 30A, and everything has something, but then 30A is kind of its own entity itself, which has whatever you need. You've got grocery stores, you've got schools, you've got medical facilities, spas, what else? Entertainment, like literally everything that you need is right there. You don't have to go anywhere unless you want to, or you need to evacuate.
Then you might want to leave.
Maybe. Hashtag Florida man.
So speaking of having to evacuate, that's kind of leading us right into our next topic. The way these homes are built out at 30A are a little bit different because it is all coastal for the most part. Not every builder out there did this, but for the most part, they do have a little bit higher quality construction because they know that, hey, we're going to get hit by hurricanes eventually. So keep that in mind if you're making a purchasing decision out there, that generally the house is built a little bit stronger than most.
And not only are they stronger, but most of the times they have got really, really outstanding finishes and just a really great use of space, because some of those plots of land are a little bit smaller, and so they make sure to use every bit of the space that they can. None of it goes to waste. So each of these properties is just typically really, really well built and with a high degree of like aesthetic pleasure and kind of an ergonomic feel. Everything flows well. It's really cool being out there and just walking through the different properties. So if you ever get a chance to do a tour of homes, absolutely do it.
And the coolest part about it is they're definitely way ahead on all the trends. So a lot of the stuff that we see out at 30A, we eventually start seeing slide into other markets, and that's just kind of cool to watch.
So the next thing on our list that we love about 30A is all the amazing places to eat.
Oh, so much good food.
It's so good. Like, the food is good, the drinks are good.
The atmosphere is phenomenal.
Yes, literally phenomenal. You've got views of the water in quite a few places. The prices aren't crazy. You can have super fine dining and show up in flip-flops because they just expect that everyone's coming in off of the beach. So you can have just the best of all worlds right there, because just because you didn't feel like getting dressed up that day doesn't mean you don't deserve super delicious food.
It's a kind of a come here as you are sort of mentality. And on top of all of that, their service everywhere I go is always outstanding. I remember I took my pup out there one time. We were talking about our four-legged friends earlier. And as soon as my butt was in his seat, the first thing that came out was a glass of water for me and a glass of water or a bowl of water for my pup at the same time. It was like she was just part of it, and just really like that kind of extra service that they give out there.
That's awesome. Oh, it makes my heart warm just thinking about it.
So all of this information is well and good, but there's, 10, 15 communities out there. So let's try to narrow this down. We're only going to go over, I think, 4 of them, just, for length of time of the video and all. But we will have a playlist at the end that you can go ahead and check out the rest of the communities. We do lots of different spotlights and driving tours and things like that, so you guys can check that out after this. But let's start with Rosemary Beach. It is probably one of the more pinnacle beaches out there, or communities, if you will, and notably the most expensive, surprisingly, but there's so much to do out there. So whether you're trying to live in Rosemary or you're going to travel to it because you're going to live somewhere nearby, it is definitely a stop you don't want to miss. So the architecture style that we mentioned earlier, that European colonial, that's exactly what Rosemary Beach is. So the way that you use every inch of space is very interesting, and it's got a very, very, very romantic feel in general. There are so many little hidden parks and tennis courts and just things like just hidden away that you wouldn't know unless you lived there and walked those streets every day. And on top of that, it's got probably one of the best farmers markets in the entire area, and I'm talking from Pensacola to Panama City Beach.
It's awesome. Right there on the green, you've got both sides, and you can get, I mean, everything from desserts to fresh fruits and vegetables, honey, CBD products, like literally everything. And you can bring your dog there too. They're super friendly.
And you can bring your kids there. There's even a little choo-choo train they can ride while you're shopping. You should probably keep an eye on them, though. Parenting. Don't take parenting advice from me. Just do whatever you need to do as a parent, but there's a choo-choo train there. That's what I'm getting at. Just leave the parenting stuff on your side, just every time.
Yeah, it's fine. I can take it. And just driving through, you'll see like the scenery. You've got all these trees that kind of create like this archway over 30A proper, and it's like, it is kind of magical, especially when they start putting the Christmas lights up.
Yep.
Then it's just beautiful. Like you said, it's a very romantic area. There's lots of wonderful dining places. There's shopping right there in the center, and then the neighborhood kind of sprawls out from there. So they've got all the commercial stuff in the center, and then the rest out, from that kind of shoots like a star into the actual residential areas. And then in those residential areas, you'll see, the pools and tennis courts. And what we noticed when we were driving around was the pools are even kind of hidden from view from the street. So as you're driving around, you're not really going to see them, which means that if you're swimming in the pool, you're not having a whole bunch of like weird people just staring at you.
I don't usually have that problem at the pool.
So if you like the idea of living super close to your neighbors but having a sprawling house and that romantic feel, then Rosemary Beach is definitely for you. But if you want something maybe a little bit more laid back, a little bit more funky, has a bit more creative side, not to say Rosemary Beach isn't creative, but something a bit more diverse, maybe check out Grayton Beach. Grayton Beach is my favorite, and you just have to see it, whether you're looking to purchase and move there or if you just want to come visit. You've got all kinds of art galleries. You've got, in my opinion, the most beautiful beach, which is Grayton Beach. You can get there from the Grayton Beach State Park, and it is glorious. You can go kayaking around and then get out to it. It's home to where you can drive your Jeeps on the beach with a special permit. So even, folks who like to do things that aren't just beach specific, maybe you get a little bit more of an adrenaline rush, you have that available to you as well. And you've got these like little houses that are, like tiny, like maybe sub 1,000 square feet. And then you've got enormous houses as well, all right there. So you want character and to really like see some personality, Grayton Beach is where you need to be.
All right, let's move on into Duneallen. If you've got more of a laid-back personality and that's kind of what you're looking for in the community that you're at, then Duneallen is for you. Everything from the restaurants there, like Shunk Gully, which I believe we've done a video on before. Great little atmosphere, but very laid-back, very, as we mentioned before, come as you are. And just the overall personality of the people that generally live there is kind of the same, the kind of that laid-back personality. And another big advantage if you are looking to move and live in Duneallen is that you're generally going to get a little bit more space. So the houses are not as close together, it doesn't have as much of an urban feel, so it gives you a little bit of space between you and your neighbors.
It's also home to one of the largest beach accesses. So if you're wanting to go to the beach, you have I'm not going to say it's a huge parking lot, because it's not. But on 30A, it is considered a huge parking lot. So if you live anywhere on Duneallen, there's some super easy beach accesses right there. And now that we've given you, some various personalities, the last one we're going to talk to you about is Water Sound. We're going to choose this one because it's huge, it's gated, and it's like a micro community on its own, really. Water Sound has so much to offer. The houses are huge. It's a little bit more compacted, kind of like Rosemary Beach. Like all of the space that is present is like going to be for the house. You're not going to have a whole lot of yard maintenance to do, which is kind of nice. Like for someone like me who doesn't enjoy doing yard maintenance, just don't have time for that. But you've also got restaurants right there. You've got amazing accesses to the beach. Like the boardwalks that go over the dunes they're just so beautiful. And you can take, you can get a lift going over there. Like sometimes they'll be running golf carts, you know, back and forth, so you can hop a lift and get over there, you know, without having to lug all of your stuff with you. There's the clubhouse there as well, with multiple pools, and they do like the walk-in thing. What's it called when there's no like edge to jump on?
Well, zero entry.
Zero entry, which I love for like Sage. Sage is my daughter. She's little. I like the zero entry because I'm not worried about her just tumbling in. So it's kind of nice. But there's just so much right there, and you've got all different kinds of personalities within the properties too. I've toured multiple properties in there, and some of them are just like very upscale and beautiful, and then some of them are a little bit more quirky, you know, depending on what the owners decided to do with them. So that's another one. They've also got their own farmers market as well. So kind of like I said, a little bit of everything right there in that singular community if you're looking for something a little bit more secluded and combined at the same time, where you're just like tightly knit with your own folks right there that are part of watercolor, as opposed to being completely open for all the through traffic that the rest of 30A has for the most part.
And of course, there are many more communities as well. So if one of these didn't hit exactly what you're thinking, you're kind of wanting, then go ahead and give us a call, text, email, or reach out however you want. All of our information is on the screen. We can talk to you about any of these communities, or of course, you can watch the videos that are about to pop up on the screen right now. I guess we'll see you guys next time.